Under the first light of a Texas sunrise, golden rays filter through sprawling live oaks as polo ponies graze across wide, open pastures. This isn't the stone-faced Agent K from Men in Black. It's a 78-year-old man in a denim shirt, coffee in hand, quietly watching his horses. More rancher than Hollywood star, more cowboy than celebrity. Today, we step inside that hidden world, his Texas ranch, where Polo, a 9-figure fortune and a fiercely private family life, define his days. But before the horses and the land, there was a remarkable journey. Tommy Lee Jones was born on September 15, 1946, in the small Texas town of San Saba. His mother, Lucille Marie, wore many hats: police officer, schoolteacher, and beauty salon owner, while his father, Clyde C. Jones, was a rugged cowboy and oilman. Their turbulent, on-again, off-again marriage made for an unpredictable home, but it forged in young Tommy the resilience and grit that would later power his career. Raised in Midland, Texas, Jones excelled both academically and athletically. His drive earned him a scholarship to Harvard University, where he studied English, played linebacker, and even roomed with a future U.S. Vice President, Al Gore. He took part in the legendary 1968 Harvard-Yale football game, a 29-29 tie, which he has often called one of the proudest moments of his athletic life. The discipline of Harvard's academics and football molded the intensity that would later define his acting. By 1969, Jones had packed his bags for New York City to pursue acting. That same year, he debuted on Broadway in A Patriot for Me and made his film debut in Love Story, 1970. Throughout the early 1970s, he steadily built his resume with the Broadway play Four on a Garden and a recurring role in the soap opera One Life to Live. In 1974, he starred in Ulysses in Nighttown, followed by a memorable turn as Howard Hughes in the TV film And the Amazing Howard Hughes. By the late 70s, he was appearing in a string of films: Jackson County Jail, Rolling Thunder, The Betsy, Back Roads, and Eyes of Laura Mars. His performance as Doolittle Lynn in Coal Miner's Daughter, 1980, earned him a Golden Globe nomination, marking his arrival as a serious actor. The 1980s brought him into millions of living rooms. His chilling portrayal of convicted killer Gary Gilmore in The Executioner's Song, 1983, won him an Emmy and proved his gift for inhabiting complex, real-life characters. He followed with roles in Nate and Hayes and the beloved miniseries Lonesome Dove, 1989, where his stoic Texas Ranger earned another Emmy nod. By then, he was firmly established as Hollywood's quintessential tough lawman. The 1990s catapulted him into superstardom. His turn as U.S. Marshal Samuel Gerard in The Fugitive, 1993, won him an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. Jones balanced iconic supporting roles with fearless leads, portraying volatile baseball legend Ty Cobb in Cobb, 1994, New Orleans businessman Clay Shaw in Oliver Stone's JFK, 1991, and commanding the screen in blockbusters like Under Siege, 1992, Natural Born Killers, 1994, and The Client, 1994. Audiences and critics alike were drawn to his ability to give even the hardest characters depth and humanity. As Hollywood entered the 2000s, Jones expanded his reach. He co-starred with Clint Eastwood in Space Cowboys, 2000, and made his directorial debut with The Three Burials of Melquiades Estrada, 2005, a poetic Western set on the U.S.-Mexico border that won awards at Cannes and cemented his reputation as a multifaceted artist. Meanwhile, he became an unlikely pop culture sensation in Japan, starring in long-running commercials as Alien Jones for Suntory's Boss Coffee, a deadpan alien observing human life, showcasing his subtle humor. He returned to the awards circuit with another Oscar-nominated role in the Valley of Elah, 2007, and delivered a haunting performance as Sheriff Bell in the Coen brothers' No Country for Old Men, 2007. Later, he appeared in The Company Men, 2010, and introduced himself to a new generation as Colonel Chester Phillips in Captain America, The First Avenger, 2011. In 2012, he reprised his role as Agent K in Men in Black 3, bringing back the deadpan authority fans loved, while proving he could still mix gravity with humor. Jones revealed yet another layer of his craft with a tender, vulnerable performance opposite Meryl Streep in Hope Springs, 2012. That same year, he capped an extraordinary run with one of his most acclaimed roles, abolitionist Congressman Thaddeus Stevens in Steven Spielberg's Lincoln. The performance earned him his 4th Academy Award nomination, praised for its sharp wit, moral conviction, and depth. Even into the late 2010s, Jones remained a steady force on screen, appearing in Jason Bourne, 2016, and the space epic Ad Astra, 2019. Proof that the Texas kid who once lived in a freight car home had become a true Hollywood legend. And yet, no matter how high his star rose, Jones never strayed far from Texas. Away from the cameras, he returned to the land that grounded him, his sprawling Polo ranch, where horses, heritage, and the quiet rhythm of cowboy life define his days. Texas Polo Ranch, horses and heritage. Spread across nearly 140 acres, his ranch is a living portrait of Texas itself. Restored prairie, 4 glistening ponds, and towering century-old oaks casting long shadows across the riding fields. It's not a film set, but it could be. Wide horizons, muted earth tones, and a timeless sense of permanence, much like the characters Jones inhabits on screen. At the heart of the property stands a lovingly restored 1915 ranch house. There is Marchanson, gaudy Hollywood opulence here, only light, calm, and quiet strength. The master bedroom opens to floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking a lake and swimming pool. A stone fireplace anchors the main living room, while polished wood floors glow softly under the Texas sun. Nearly every space draws the outside in, glass walls framing the sky, trees, and horses, so that even from the kitchen, you can see ponies grazing in the pastures. A separate guest house provides privacy for visiting family, managers, or riders. But it's the equestrian heart of the ranch that speaks Jones's true language. 5 barns house tack rooms, laundry facilities, and staff amenities, designed for pure function rather than flash. A workshop and tool shed sit under one roof, alongside a Morton-style indoor arena for training in bad weather, an open roundhouse for warm-ups, and a web of irrigated paddocks and stables to keep the land as healthy as the horses. This isn't a retreat built for appearances. It's a working ranch, a training ground, and a sanctuary. Strolling the grounds, you can sense Jones's wry humor. If this were a Men in Black sequel, you might half expect a black-suited horse labeled Agent H to trot by. But here, the stars aren't aliens or red carpets. They're the polo ponies, the quiet ponds, and the weathered fences, each echoing Jones's lifelong devotion to craft over spectacle. This Belleville ranch isn't just where Tommy Lee Jones unwinds. It's where he breeds, trains, and stages polo matches, blending the discipline of an actor with the patience of a horseman. Wellington Polo Estate, America's polo hotspot. Jones's passion for polo eventually carried him east to Wellington, Florida, the winter capital of American polo. Hidden just inland from Palm Beach, Wellington is to polo what Nashville is to country music, the undisputed heart of the sport. With more than 60 competition, fields and neighbors like Michael Bloomberg, Bill Gates, Bruce Springsteen, and Georgina Bloomberg, it's the epicenter of an elite equestrian world. Into this rarefied circle, Jones arrived quietly 2 decades ago. In 2002, he purchased 50 acres of raw land for just a few dollars per square meter, long before its value skyrocketed. There, he built not just a residence, but a complete polo campus, combining Texas practicality with Florida elegance. At its center stands an 11,000-square-foot home, modern and airy, yet grounded in wood and glass. 4 bedrooms open onto sweeping views of lush pastures through floor-to-ceiling windows. A gourmet kitchen flows into open living spaces with hardwood floors and wide porches shaded by palms, perfect for watching practice chukkas at sunset. Inside, the design is understated. Neutral palettes, strong natural materials, authenticity over flash. True to Jones's philosophy, even in one of the wealthiest equestrian enclaves in the world. In Wellington, exclusivity wasn't just an address. It was a lifestyle. Guests at Jones's estate could step from a sunny breakfast nook onto a terrace that overlooked the main training field, giving the entire property the feel of a private polo club that just happened to be in your backyard. Surrounding the home were barns, exercise tracks, and manicured paddocks rivaling those at the International Polo Club down the road. This was no simple winter retreat. It was a fully functional equestrian campus where Jones trained ponies, hosted matches, and welcomed fellow riders. Review it like an HGTV special, and the verdict would be clear. Luxury living fused with equestrian excellence. Less a Hollywood mansion, more a polo powerhouse. Designed and operated by a man who split his life between movie sets and horse arenas. That vision paid off. Jones listed the property in 2013 for $26 million. Though the final sale in 2019 closed at $11.5 million, it still represented an enormous return on his modest original investment. The deal confirmed what insiders had long suspected. Tommy Lee Jones could read not only scripts, but also markets, transforming cheap land into a world-class equestrian estate and cashing out before the next chapter of his life. And as we leave Florida's palm-lined fields and return to the vast Texas skies, it's time to measure what all the films, ranches, and polo ventures have added up to. The fortune behind one of Hollywood's most quietly disciplined stars. Income and net worth. Even far from the red carpets, Tommy Lee Jones commands a fortune worthy of legend. His net worth today is estimated at over $100 million, built on a career spanning more than 80 films, acclaimed television work, directing credits, and savvy real estate plays. The foundation, of course, is acting. His Academy Award for The Fugitive, 1993, cemented him as a household name, while his deals for the Men in Black franchise were as sharp as his performances, reportedly $10 million for the first film, and $20 million plus back-end profits for its sequels. At his peak, he commanded annual acting incomes in the $8 to $12 million range, with a reported $17 million payday for U.S. Marshals, 1998. Earlier television work, from One Life to Live, 1971 to 1975, to his Emmy-winning role in The Executioner's Song, 1983, and his nomination for Lonesome Dove, 1989, not only built his reputation, but also laid the financial foundation for his later film stardom. Behind the camera, Jones expanded into directing and producing. His Cannes lauded The Three Burials of Melquiades Estrada, 2005, signaled a profitable second act, while projects like The Good Old Boys, 1995, and HBO's The Sunset Limited, 2011, provided both income and creative fulfillment. Then there are endorsements. Since 2006, Jones has starred in Suntory's Boss coffee ads in Japan, playing Alien Jones, a deadpan extraterrestrial observing human life. The campaign became a cultural phenomenon overseas, running for more than a decade and reportedly pouring millions into his coffers. Add in real estate investments, his sprawling Texas polo ranch, and his former Wellington estate, and you see a diversified financial portfolio. But for all his wealth, Jones has never been the type to flaunt it. Instead, he channels a portion of it into causes that reflect his private but purposeful ethos. Philanthropy. Jones rarely calls press conferences or lends his name to buildings. But over the decades, he has quietly put significant resources and personal effort into causes he believes in. One of his most visible commitments has been to the Buonaconti Fund to cure paralysis. As an honorary chairman, Jones helps headline its annual Destination Fashion event in Miami, raising millions for cutting-edge spinal cord research. He also saddles up for the equestrian legend's celebrity polo match, not as a token guest, but as an active player, using his passion for polo to support people recovering from devastating injuries. These appearances blur the line between sport and service, turning a weekend on horseback into critical funding for medical breakthroughs. Closer to home, Jones donated $1 million to the University of Texas at Austin to support its film program, a gift designed to help the next generation of storytellers. Faculty described the donation as quiet but transformative, noting that Jones declined any naming rights for his University of Texas gift, asking only that students have access to the best equipment and mentoring possible. His environmental giving reflects the same understated ethos. He has supported the Texas Parks and Wildlife Foundation to protect endangered species and preserve public lands, while also backing the Nature Conservancy's work safeguarding Texas watersheds and rangelands. Friends say he views these donations as paying rent for the open spaces that shaped him. Together, these efforts sketch a portrait of philanthropy rooted, not in optics, but in values. A man who channels polo matches into spinal injury research, film profits into student labs, and ranch revenues into conservation. Quiet generosity with a cowboy's heart. Giving without fanfare, but leaving a lasting impact. Personal life. Just as his charitable work is deeply personal, so too is the life he leads off-screen. His first marriage, to Kate Lardner in 1971, granddaughter of legendary screenwriter Ring Lardner Jr., lasted 7 years, overlapping with Jones's earliest breakthroughs on stage and television. Friends remember her as a grounding force in his early New York years. In 1981, Jones married Kimberly Claughley, daughter of San Antonio's former mayor Phil Hardberger. Together they had 2 children, Austin, born in 1982, and Victoria, born in 1991. During this time, the family split life between Los Angeles and Texas, with Jones insisting his children grow up connected to the ranch. Though the marriage ended in 1996, he remained a devoted father, coaching Austin's football practices and encouraging Victoria's love of art, even while shooting films around the world. His third and current marriage to photographer Dawn Laurel marked a quieter chapter. They met in 1995 on the set of The Good Old Boys, where Laurel worked behind the camera. What began as a professional connection grew into a lasting partnership, and the two married in March 2001. Together, they have cultivated a rhythm of privacy and purpose, splitting time between Texas and their projects abroad. They've even partnered on environmental initiatives, including the Climate Reality Project founded by Jones's former Harvard roommate Al Gore. In 2012, the couple joined an Antarctic expedition, where Laurel's photography raised funds at a London auction for conservation causes. The Horseman. Away from film sets, Jones's greatest passion has always been horses. He discovered Polo as a boy in Texas, but it wasn't until the early 1980s that he began formal training in California. By the 1990s, he was competing at the highest levels, forming his own team, and in 1996, making history as the first American in over 20 years to win the U.S. Open Polo Championship. That victory secured his reputation not only as a Hollywood icon, but as an elite competitor in one of the world's most exclusive sports. Yet for Jones, polo has never been about prestige. He personally oversees the breeding and training of his horses, advocating for humane treatment and higher standards within the sport. With top ponies costing $25,000 to over $100,000 each, plus the immense costs of training, travel, and field upkeep, polo demands serious financial commitment. But for Jones, it is less an indulgence and more a meditative escape, a way to connect with the animals and landscapes that give him balance. Legacy. And that is the enduring image of Tommy Lee Jones, not just the Hollywood legend, Oscar winner and global star, but the Texas rancher who chooses to live among wide pastures, polo fields, and quiet skies. A man defined as much by discipline, family, and timeless values as by the characters he's brought to life on screen. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the hidden world of Tommy Lee Jones. If you enjoyed this story and want to keep exploring the homes, lives, and legacies of other American icons, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the next episode.